My condolences. Like, best of luck with it all. And I'm with you. Awesome. So let me introduce you to Will Petter. Will is the CFO of a company called Access Energy. It's just a public energy company. And Will, like every other CFO of any public company on earth, is required by law to have what's called a stock transfer agent. And transfer agents, very, very simple. They just record a list of all the book entry shareholders for a company's stock. And this is really important whenever Will wants to distribute dividends or perhaps execute stock splits, and at the end of the year, take in shareholder votes. But the way it's implemented is fundamentally flawed. You have this one central point of failure and this one central counterparty that keeps track of everything, but they do it with a huge expense. This industry is one of the highest margin businesses in all of public finance because it is so consolidated. And since everything relies on that one central middleman, the processes are actually really inefficient and just haven't had much innovation in decades, really. If you try to transfer book entry stock today, you got to drive to the bank, you have to fill out a bunch of paperwork, you have to get them to authorize and sign off on you there with your IDs, filling out the paperwork. Then you have to go home, fill out some more convoluted forms and mail all of that in to the transfer agent to transfer your stock. And on average, that takes 5 days on the low end. And it's just a very massive waste of shareholder dollars, shareholder time, and resources that really should be better spent invested in the company or just in daily operations. And so we did a block transfer, we took the whole transfer agent process and we patented the systems and methods of implementing it on a blockchain network, which have been approved by the SEC and are pending utility patent approval, so that you no longer have that central point of record keeping trust. And instead, everyone can partake and distribute and transfer shares peer to peer without that central middleman, which means that transactions execute in 5 seconds, not 5 days. In terms of what the market looks like for this, you have a couple of big players, and we feel that we're really well positioned to break in and take it's really kind of a winner takes all kind of market, which we're really care about because shareholder liquidity is so important. And for Will, there are hundreds of people that just right now don't really have immediate access to their funds. And in a modern economy, that's just not acceptable to have to wait 5 days to transfer shares. And a lot of times you'll lose some interest carry on it, and it's just a really bad experience for the shareholders. And so we're really excited to bring block transfer to market with backing by US Bank and some hefty help from chief information security officers kind of around the industry, so the shareholders can have a significantly just brand new, really great experience. And these firms can save a lot of money. You know, the average transfer agent bills about $400,000 a year. And we think we should be able to save companies a couple $100,000 and have them invest that in where it really matters and actually creates shareholder value.
I have a very basic question here. How do you plan to propagate the idea? How do you take it to businesses? And more than that, how do you take it to users, like the ultimate buyers of the product?
So the company buys it and the shareholders use it. In terms of what it looks like for shareholders, it's pretty simple. They just set up, if you're familiar with Stellar, they just set up a basic Stellar blockchain wallet. It's nothing too extreme. There's a lot of really streamlined interfaces for that. In terms of what it looks like getting it into the company and actually getting that distribution, just a little background on me. I ran a hedge fund for a few years prior to block transfer, and half a decade ago, I published my first best-selling book on finance. And so what I'm doing is I'm writing my newest book, and I'm about halfway done. I've been working on it for a couple of months, and I'm getting pretty close to finishing it up, just on all the inefficiencies in the transfer agent market, and then how you can use blockchain to solve all the problems. And at the end of the book, I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, we'll do all of this for you, and we'll give you a super deal on it. So my main idea, my main strategy is to finish up the book and then just drive traffic to the book. And then we're also, finding some VPs of sales to do direct marketing to public CFOs.
When you say best-selling, how can you disclose numbers, or do you have numbers?
Yeah, I hit the new releases best-selling list. So it sold like 50 copies in the first day, which I was kind of excited about.
Yeah, but I'm sure, you sound pretty polished and professional. It gives me a hint that you have done your research. And I'm sure you would agree to the fact that these numbers won't be enough to take you mainstream.
What numbers?
The numbers coming through the book itself.
Oh, well, we'll just run ads to it. You just run traffic to it.
Okay. I'm assuming there's a digital marketing strategy in place, or would you be making it or optimizing it? I mean, usually you start with all the keywords in place and then start optimizing. So have you done that? Have you ever practiced any of that? The
Yeah, I've
platform is
done
live, right?
digital marketing for the fund
Yeah.
and for like the investing book for a while.
Mm-hmm.
With this space, it's a little bit different. There's only about 8,000 people on the planet that actually buy this service. And those are just the public CFOs. And so to additionally get in front of those public CFOs, we'll be one of six fintech speakers at the largest CFO conference in the world in October. And that'll have about 5,000 CFOs. So basically every public CFO will be there, and we'll be there as a speaker as well to get in front of that audience.
Wow. Sounds music to my ears. Okay. Fantastic. What brought you to blockchain?
It all came from trading long time ago. I was trading stocks over the summer in the middle of high school. And when school started, second period, I couldn't trade the opening bell. And it was 2017 at the time, and crypto was just popping. And I just transitioned into the space, and all the technical strategies I'd been using executed very, very well. And I just kept on trading.
Wow. Talk to me something about your investment banking career.
You bet. So I basically started a fund in early 2018, a little bit late in 2017, and that was mostly a friends and family round. And since then, we ran it for 3 years. We just closed it to run block transfer, and we had a net return on outside capital of 140%.
And that was through crypto trading? Or
yeah, about 80% of it was digital assets. Yeah.
Lovely. How long was the period? I mean, how long?
3 years.
For 3 years. Okay, wonderful. Cool. What's the exact state of the product? Is it all out?
Yeah, we just received final SEC approval about 2 weeks ago, and then we just kind of finished up all the development. And we're basically right at launch. There's a couple of minor technical, rinks to iron out, but we're basically right at launch.
Lovely. Sorry, Summer, can we switch off